What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with another YouTube video. If you haven't already, checked out my video from yesterday on Denzel Mims being, the potential pick at 21 for the Eagles. Go check that out. This video is going to be up, so go check that out. Come back and watch this one. If you want to watch this one first, the link will be at the end of the video. With that being said, let's get into this video. Is Justin Jefferson from LSU the right pick for the Eagles at 21 if they stay? Now I'm saying what if? What if they stay? Because there has been rumors that we could be trading that pick to move up for CeeDee Lamb or just something like that. Who knows what's really going to happen? The draft is in 5 days. Thank God. I need some little bit of sports news in my life because these videos are, they're videos, but they're not the videos that we all look to watch and listen to and do all that. So, the attributes of Justin Jefferson: he is 6'1", he's 202 pounds, he's from LSU, and he is a junior. His 40 time was a 4.43. Now, he didn't participate in the 6-cone drill, and he didn't do a couple other of the drills that I explained yesterday that Mims did. Now, Mims was the fastest guy in the 6-cone drill, and he was also faster. I'm pretty sure he ran a 4.38. So he's faster than Justin Jefferson with 5 more pounds and 2 more inches of height on him. Now, Justin Jefferson has been a name that has been floating around Eagles fans and everything like that for a little bit now. Since basically the offseason started and since the we needed a wide receiver talks have started. His strengths are he has a very good initial burst off the snap. He makes good acrobatic catches, he's able to adjust, and he's reliable from the slot. Now that is the big what if on Justin Jefferson. Can he play on the outside? That's the big question mark on his draft resume. If he can play outside, I have no problem with taking him at 21. I don't have a problem taking him at 21 now, even if he can't play on the outside. But if he can play on the outside, then I think it's a no-brainer. If he is there at the 21st pick, you should take him. Because here's my thing. Once one guy goes, whether it's Ruggs, Lamb, or Judy, the rest are going to go quickly after that. Whether it's in no particular order. It could be Ruggs to the Jets, because that's a lot of speculation, is that the Jets are going to draft Ruggs with the 11th pick. CeeDee Lamb could go to I don't even know. We could trade up and we could draft him first. There's so many things that could possibly happen. There's so many outcomes that could happen with the 4 main guys at the wide receiver position in this draft. Jefferson, Lamb, Ruggs, and Judy are the 4 main guys. All 4 of them would be automatic starters on this football team. I even think Denzel Mims and Jalen Reagor could be starters. And KJ Hamler and T. Higgins. They all could be starters on this team. I'm not saying that they couldn't. But the 4 guys that I said first, Jefferson, Ruggs, Judy, and Lamb, are probably the 4 best receivers in this draft. And, there's a big separation from Lamb, Ruggs, and Judy to Jefferson. Now, those 3 guys, everybody knows that they are the top 3 receivers in this draft. And if anybody goes and one of them is still on the board, so say if Justin Jefferson goes before Judy or Lamb, I don't know what they're doing. Because I think Lamb and Judy are the best 2 receivers in this draft. But it just so happens that Henry Ruggs is an insanely fast Tyreek Hill type of player that the Jets could easily use, you throw him in that offense, you throw it up to him, and he'll probably come down and get it. Whether it's he might not win in a jump ball, but he's faster than them, so if you lead him, he's going to go get it. That's what's so important with this draft. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of teams that are looking for a wide receiver. You got the Jets, and then you have teams that need everything. The Raiders need some stuff. The Lions need some stuff. They don't really need a wide receiver, but they could use one. I don't know. They could use a lot. The Dolphins could use a lot, but they need other things first. That is why I think that one of these four guys could definitely, if not already, be at the 21st pick during the draft. There's plenty of teams that are ahead of us. The Jaguars could go out and get a receiver like Lamb or Judy. The Chargers could go out and get a guy like Lamb or Judy or Lamb. My God. It's just a matter of where we pick. Where, if we trade up, if we stay at 21, it's gonna matter. It's gonna be who's gonna go where. Because once the first receiver goes off the board, the rest will follow soon after. Now, to get into his weaknesses, he needs more attention to detail with his route running, which we know from J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, route running is obviously huge, and it gets you more separation. I mean, everybody knows that. But, we can't get another guy like an Arcega-Whiteside that just can't run routes. You can't have that. He's unable to separate/run away from the tight man. So if they're playing tight man coverage on him, he has trouble getting away from him. But he's a good acrobatic player that can make those kind of catches. So you kind of think to yourself, okay, that kind of equals out. But I would rather have a guy that can get separation and make an easier catch than catches that are going to be impossible sometimes. Obviously, everybody would. Because I feel like the main problem with the Eagles last year, you look at teams like the Chiefs, and I know the Chiefs are a very good team, and I know the Niners are also a very good team. But you look at those two teams, they had wide receivers open in the middle of the field all game long. Now, I can't remember an Eagles game last season where we were, really open. Like one time, we were so open. I mean, Aguilar was open a couple times. He just completely dropped it because it's Nelson Aguilar. And then we also had a bunch of injuries, and I understand that. I watched the games. I watched all 16 games plus the playoff game. We were banged up. Everybody knows that. Everybody that paid attention to football last year knew that the Philadelphia Eagles were messed up with injuries at the wide receiver position. But I would just like, for once, to have a receiver that is going to get open no matter what. Now, Deshaun was open, but he gets injured. He's an older player. When's the last time you can really say that the Eagles have had an absolute stud at wide receiver? A guy that is going to, a superstar wide receiver. An all-pro wide receiver. It's been since 2004. T.O. was probably the best receiver Eagles have ever had, talent-wise. Now, I know he wasn't here for long, and I know people can say, oh, well, you had Harold Carmichael, you had Mike Quick, you had those guys. I understand that. And for the Eagles, they were great players. Harold Carmichael is a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying that. Talent-wise, Terrell Owens is top 3 receivers of all time. Maybe even top 2. In my personal opinion, I would go Rice, Moss, Owens. Honestly, those are the top 3 receivers of all time, in my opinion. And we had one of them, and you saw what happened when we had him. He came back on a broken leg and played in the Super Bowl and had 8 catches and 100 and something yards. Now, we lost. Everybody knows that. And, him and McNabb obviously didn't click. But you see what happens when you have a superstar wide receiver like that. Randy Moss has, or Jerry Rice has how many Super Bowls? 5? 4 or 5? Moss doesn't have a Super Bowl, but they were 18-0 going into the Super Bowl. And then the luckiest catch of all time happened for David Tyree, and the Giants ended up winning. But, it just goes to show when you have a superstar all-pro receiver on your team, how far it can go. And Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, and possibly even Jefferson could be one of those guys. Honestly, down the line. I'm not saying that they're going to come out in the NFL and be automatic, Hall of Fame receiver talent. I'm not saying that. They could. They have the potential. These four guys are probably the best 4 receivers in the draft. It's just a matter of where, when, and how we get them on this team. Whether it's one of them, whether it's you wait a couple rounds, you move back, I don't know. And then his last weakness is the separation talent is just average on the outside. Now that's the thing that I was talking about with his strengths. He was reliable from the slot, but is he reliable on the outside? Because we have Greg Ward, who is, probably going to be the slot this year. He's definitely going to be the slot. Can you afford to have 2 slot receivers, or are you going to test Justin Jefferson as soon as he gets into the NFL at, the outside position, the outside wide receiver position? That's just something that's going to have to wait and see. In 5 days, we're just going to have to wait and see who we draft. Now, he was a junior, so in his 3 years, he had 165 receptions, 2,415 yards, 14.6 average yards per game, or per reception, and 24 touchdowns. In his junior year, he had 111 of those 165 receptions, 1,540 yards. He averaged 13.9 yards per catch. And of the 24 touchdowns that he's had in 3 years, he had 18 of them in his junior year. Now, yes, he had Joe Burrow, who was one of the greatest college quarterbacks that I have ever watched. He was an absolute animal on the football field. He was amazing. And now everybody, Joe Burrow is going number 1 this year. He is. Heisman Trophy winner. He was the best player in college football last year, no doubt. Does that play, you just see from 3 years, he had 165 receptions. He had 111 of them last year with Joe Burrow. You put him with a good quarterback, now we're talking. So can he do those things with a good quarterback like Carson Wentz? I think he can. Maybe not automatically. Maybe it's going to take him a year or two. But I think he'll start. I think he at least gets playing time and games in during his rookie year. I do think that 100%. There's just a lot of question marks. Who we're going to take, where we're going to pick, and if we move up. Those are the 3 question marks that I have. If we move up, where will we move up in the draft? If we move back, why are we moving back? And and who are we going to pick? Who in Howie Roseman's mind is he saying that is who we're going to get? That 100% we're either going to move up, move back, or stay where we're at to try and get blank. That is the number 1 question. Who are we going to pick? Because there has been names thrown out. Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, Jefferson, Mims. These are guys that you just don't know where they're going to go. And hopefully the Eagles can land one of the top 4. If not, I can see them getting Mims and then probably drafting a receiver in the 2nd round. Whether that's they move up, they don't, who knows. That's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're at 316 subscribers. Make sure you hit that like button to push out this content. If you haven't already, check out my video from yesterday about Denzel Mims. It's basically the same video that I did today, but on Mims. Thank you all for watching. I'm out. Peace.